What's up, guys? Welcome to Gwhisky. My name is Jeff. Now, this is a channel where I offer my thoughts and opinions on a specific whiskey, and if you stick around at the end, I'll be giving it a score as well. If that sounds interesting, hit subscribe down below. And with that out of the way, why don't we jump into our review? Today, we're looking at the Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. Stick around. Alright, so it's a fun one today. This is a review I've been sitting on for a while, actually. I honestly don't know why I didn't get around to it sooner. It's a super popular whiskey. Probably one of the best received Irish whiskeys out there. We've got the Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. Redbreast is a brand that's near and dear to my heart, though. They're the brand that showed me what Irish whiskey was capable of being. Before trying the regular 12, the Cask Strength 12, the 15-year-old, I'll admit I wasn't the biggest fan of Irish whiskey. I liked it, but I found a lot of those sort of bright, clean, tinny flavors nice, but samey. And of course, that's not the case. Irish is a world in and of itself. But yeah, anyway, our 12-year-old here matured in bourbon barrels and Oloroso sherry barrels. Malted and unmalted barley being used, single pot still. But the big thing, the most important thing here is cask strength. Now, I do actually like the regular 12 at 40%, but of course, anytime you bottle something at 40%, you're basically neutering it. You shouldn't be doing it. It should be 46%, but we'll save that conversation. It is nice that the people at Redbreast do give us a cask strength alternative here, though. The batch I've got with me here is B1/20, which means it came out last year. These batches do vary in terms of ABV, and general flavors do kind of fluctuate. Most cask strength whiskeys do, unless you're playing around with your casks a lot or diluting it in some way. You're not likely to have the same ABV between each batch. And you know, there are a few people out there doing like the batch comparison thing with this whiskey, which I think is cool. People used to do that all the time with like Ardbeg Ugadals or Aberlour Abanaz. You see it less with Redbreast, but you know, there are some people doing it, and it's helpful if you're trying to decide which batch to go for. Unfortunately, I'm not one of those people. I have tried a couple of batches, but I wasn't really focused on like picking apart the minute differences. I was too busy enjoying them. You know, at this point, you guys can probably hazard a guess as to how I'm going to feel about this whiskey, but let's pretend it's still a mystery. Why don't we jump into our review, see what our whiskey is all about, and in the meantime, if you could kindly leave a like down below, that'd be greatly appreciated. Of course, this is going to be a cask strength whiskey, so we have a healthy ABV of 57.6%. I do like the sound of that. It's going to be non-chill filtered. Unfortunately, according to a couple German websites, this one does have caramel colorant in it, so we're looking at 2 out of 3 today. We have a tinted bottle here. We can't make out the unnatural color of our whiskey. I like these Redbreast bottles. I think they look good. They redid the label design in 2019. The old ones looked like that. I prefer the newer design. I think it's distinctive. I think it's clean, a little bit modern, a little bit traditional. Presentation score is going to be 4.5 out of 5. We do have quite a few blurbs on this bottle. Most of them don't tell us very much, kind of markety. We do have some tasting notes on the back. We have our batch number up here. They should mention that they're non-chill filtered. They don't. Overall, good looking bottle though. Let's try our nose. Okay. Shortbread, butter cookies, some baklava in here, some vanilla frosting. We have honey cake. We have some bananas in here, some toffee, some papaya, some berries. There's some white chocolate in here, a little bit of leather, and that classic Irish tinny pot still note. Now our palate. Wow. Okay. Full, powerful. Big explosion of baking spices. I'm getting cinnamon in here, nutmeg, cardamom, pepper. We also have some nuttiness in here. We get like almonds, pistachios, more baklava, some chewing tobacco. We've got musty oak, we've got earth, we've got tinny pot still, we've got big butterscotch in here, and we have some honey drizzled dates. There's a lot of notes, a lot of complexity here. Now our finish. Okay. Butterscotch, tin, baking spices, oak, nuts, berries, mocha, orange oil. We've got chewing tobacco. We've got these nice bitter herbal notes that kind of counterbalance the sweetness. This is a long, interesting finish. So I don't think I'm going to surprise anyone at this point when I say that I freaking love this stuff. It's really good. It's a great Irish whiskey. It's a great whiskey in general. And you know, as someone who drinks Scotch like 98% of the time, this is a really nice departure. Our flavors here are big and they're unmistakably Irish. The standouts are going to be like that big butterscotch note, the shortbread, the variety of spices we get, the variety of fruits we get. Honestly, there's so much going on with this whiskey. Unsurprisingly, this is a huge step up from the regular 12, which I mentioned earlier comes in at 40%. Of course, by contrast, that one's going to be a lot more muted. Meanwhile, our flavors here are going to be a lot bigger, more intense, more vibrant. Yeah, there's a lot to dig into and enjoy in this whiskey. There's honestly not an off note to be found. Another thing worth noting is that this is not an overly sweet whiskey. It sounds like it might be with my flavor descriptors. There's a lot of sweet stuff in there. Again, we have that kind of like herbal counterbalance. Helps even everything out. Yeah, guys, this is great stuff. I think it's one of the most interesting, complex, and delicious 12-year-olds that money can buy. And it's also my favorite Irish whiskey that I've tried to date. Now, I'll admit I haven't tried a lot of Irish whiskey, but so far, our 12-year-old Cask Strength here and the 15 from the same line are just top-tier stuff. And you know, I've actually got a question for you guys. I'm sure there's a lot of you out there that are much better versed in Irish whiskey than I am. And my question to you guys is, where do I go from Redbreast? It's a beautiful whiskey, and I'm curious what other kind of Irish whiskeys we have out there that are somewhat comparable in quality. Because, you know, as I said earlier, there's a lot of Irish whiskeys out there that are very nice and pleasant, but somewhat samey. But I don't want those ones. I want the good ones. I want the next level ones. So if you guys have any ideas, feel free to put them down in the comments below. I would love to read them. Anyway, yeah, obviously, I love this whiskey. Currently, it's one of my favorite whiskeys in my collection. I'm going to score this a 92. Yeah, very few whiskeys get me pumped up like this one. Also, we've got some sherry in there. You guys know I love my sherry, but the sherry's not that forward in here. It's kind of worked in or integrated with those butterscotchy, kind of traditional Irishy flavors, and the result is inspired. Not much else to say here, guys. This is amazing stuff. It beats out a lot of scotches. It's a top-tier world whiskey. It's a top-tier whiskey, period. Rarely do you come across a whiskey of this caliber. You guys can tell from this review, I'm excited by this one. So if you're like me and you're coming from the world of Scotch and you want to see what Irish whiskey can be, what Irish whiskey should be, absolutely check this one out. I can't imagine anyone being disappointed by this stuff. I think our value here is pretty good. We're getting an age statement, we're getting Cask Strength, and we're getting a whiskey that's stupid delicious. Now, I'm pretty happy with my buy because I got this on sale. I paid about $20 less than full price, but tell you what, even at full price, you're getting something pretty special here. Alright, that's it for me today, guys. Thank you very much for watching. If you want to help support the channel, please consider becoming a patron. Also, the usual like, comment, subscribe. Do let me know down in the comments if you've tried our Redbreast 12 Cask Strength. What were your thoughts on it? And finally, also down in the comments, let me know what you want to see me review next. I'll keep that in mind for my upcoming videos. Bye, guys.